Growing calls for Rachel from accounts Reeves the Thieves to face a criminal investigation and a prison sentence for her blatant budget fraud. And the mainstream media might think that they are able to cover up this story, but two columnists are not giving her any room to breathe. And I think she should be sobbing in the dock because of what she has done to our country very, very shortly. Now, before I bring in Christine and Neil Hamilton on this, let me just take you through Alistair Heath and Dan Hodges' latest remarks on this. Heath has written that Starmer and Reeves are now a threat to British democracy. He says Labour was elected on a dishonest manifesto and the government has lost all legitimacy. Indeed, the situation is extremely grave. Starmer and Reeves have normalised dissembling as routine communication. Their agenda is built on fabrications and fantasy. He adds they have robbed Labour of its moral legitimacy. They have deprived it of its intangible authority. They have broken a sacred compact with the electorate, and they are almost supernaturally unpopular. He adds, I do not write this lightly, but Starmer and Reeves have become a threat to British democracy. They must go as soon as possible. Our institutions cannot function if voters and even the cabinet and senior officials cannot trust anything their PM and Chancellor says. The system can cope with ordinary political dishonesty, but not with this level of lying. The budget was based on the greatest political lie since Tony Blair's dodgy Iraq War dossier. Reeves and Starmer knew there was no black hole in the public finances and yet pretended to the media, to the public, to the markets that the OBR had told them that there was all the better to ram through tax increases to pay for more welfare. Dan Wootton Outspoken is available as a podcast too. So to listen or watch us on the go, wherever you are, then please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And as a personal favour to me, please rate and review, as it really helps our independent show. Then to Dan Hodges. Now, Dan Hodges, by the way, has been the only Labour columnist who has been quite frank about this. Rachel Reeves should not just lose her job, but she should lose her liberty. He has been the first one to go as far to say her actions are criminal. And he now has said in a new column in the Mail overnight that Reeves is bang to rights, but Starmer has also made a fatal blunder. And speaking of his performance in PMQs, he wrote, what he noticeably didn't do was agree to ensure his Chancellor would cooperate with any investigation into the chaos of the past month. For a simple reason. He knows Rachel Reeves is bang to rights. As one minister told Dan Hodges on Tuesday, he knows that if the FCA investigates, Reeves is toast. That she lied to the country in her emergency press conference of November 4th is now a matter of established fact. As even the BBC's highly respected political editor Chris Mason wrote on Monday. The words on the day left an impression not at one with the facts we were later to discover, and which the Chancellor knew at the time. But most serious, and again incontestable, is how Reeves and her team themselves leaked highly market-sensitive information. As Miles of the OBR confirmed, I think it was clear there were lots of information appearing in the press which perhaps wouldn't normally be out there, and this wasn't, from our point of view, particularly helpful. Dan Hodges added, I'm told it is this final point that lies behind Starmer's defensiveness. As a minister tells him they're panicked, they saw the markets reacting badly to the briefings and started to feed out data from the OBR report to try and correct this, and that is a clear regulatory breach. Translation, Neil Hamilton, she's broken the law. And, this law can see people locked up for 10 years. And Neil, I put it to you that if we were talking about a Conservative Chancellor, if we were talking about Kwasi Kwarteng and the Liz Truss administration, the mainstream media would literally be banging the drum every single minute, not just for them to go, but for there to be a police investigation. Why should Rachel Reeves be judged by a different standard? But first, as we get older, you notice it. After a cold, a hard workout, even a long week, recovery just isn't as quick as it used to be, right? That bounce back factor matters. And it turns out the secret isn't luck, It's stem cells, your body's built-in repair crew. With age, that system slows down. Fewer cells, weaker signals, slower recovery. That's exactly why Qualia created Qualia Stem Cell. Think of it this way. Your cells are powerful. Qualia Stem Cell helps keep them that way. It's crafted with nature's heavy lifters, sea buckthorn, royal jelly, and more to support your body's natural repair system so you can keep moving, healing, and thriving. You don't have to accept slowing down. This is about supporting better aging by reactivating the systems that help you bounce back. And it's refreshingly simple. You take it just 4 days a month. So if you've ever felt like your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to, whether it's after a tough workout, getting sick, or just the wear and tear of life, this is for you. Qualia Stem Cell was designed to support your body's natural repair systems, helping you heal, recover, and keep going strong. And right now, you can try it for up to 50% off at qualialife.com/Dan. And here's a bonus. Use the code Dan for an additional 15% off your order. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan. Your body's built to repair itself. Qualia just helps it do it that better. And a big thanks, by the way, to Qualia for sponsoring this episode of Outspoken. But now, back to the show.
Yeah, well, it was a clear exercise in market abuse, wasn't it? That's
Yes.
what was happening. And they knew what they were doing. It was totally premeditated. Starmer knew all about it. He has been actually taken control of the budget process into number 10 through the apparatchiks that he's appointed, because he knows that Reeves is totally useless. You overstated her qualifications, by the way. She's not Rachel from accounts, she's Rachel from customer complaints.
Yes, exactly.
She was a middle ranking pen pusher in the customer complaints department who's fabricated her CV then to try to persuade people that she has these great economics qualifications to entitle her to be Chancellor of the Exchequer. She is absolutely and spectacularly useless. The worst Chancellor of the Exchequer ever, in my view, and there have been some very, very bad ones in my lifetime, but nobody really compares with her. Blundering around as we have been for the last month or so with all sorts of ideas thrown out, regardless of the convulsive effect that they had on markets, and causing mayhem in people's lives as well. People have changed their pension plans irreversibly because of threats to cut the tax-free amount of cash you take from your pension pot, and many other things as well. And these people are all lost out as a result of Reeves's irresponsibility and her deceit. And so, yes, she should certainly be brought to account, and not just in the court of public opinion. In the High Court of Justice, I think is the best place for her to be, in the dock, as you say.
Christine Hamilton, I mean, it is astonishing, isn't it, when you compare the treatment of minor scandals under the last government. When, a piece of cake that Boris Johnson ate was the biggest deal in the world, and in the end cost him his job. And there's almost like a silence from the regime media over this, even though there are some key people like Chris Mason, like Dan Hodges, like Alistair Heath, who say, hang on a moment, no, this is criminal. And that's why I refuse to stop talking about this.
Well, I mean, I hope it is criminal. I'm not the lawyer. My other half is the lawyer. I don't keep a dog and bark. So if it's criminal, I mean, let's go for it. It's the most delicious thought imaginable to see her behind bars. I mean, isn't it? Heavens alive. The trouble is that with this current government, she'd be let out by mistake fairly quickly.
She wouldn't get a trial for 5 years.
No, exactly. But I mean, joking apart, I have no idea whether any criminal prosecution would succeed. That's not my department. But I mean, it is unbelievable what she's done. I mean, not only did Boris get completely wiped out because of a piece of cake, Rishi Sunak, as I understand, he just wandered into a room for about 5 seconds because he could hear something going on, and he then got fined and drummed out of court. I mean, for heaven's sake, they get away with lying and deceit on an industrial scale. It is absolutely breathtaking. And I mean, you say Chris Mason. I mean, Dan Hodges and Alistair Heath are both completely brilliant. I mean, they're the go-tos first thing in the morning, unless I'm making canapes. But Chris Mason's comment, and I haven't got it in my head, but it was pretty mild, you know. He didn't really go for the jugular, and it seems to me that Rachel Reeves has exposed her jugular, and we should all damn well go for it. But of course, Starmer knows that if she goes, he goes. I mean, the dishonesty of this government, and of course, the other thing they're trying to do is pack. Any minute now, they're going to pack the Lords with goodness knows how many more new Labour peers. They're going to be abolishing the hereditaries shortly, so the whole business of the House of Lords being a proper sort of counterbalance is going to be stuffed with cronies. I mean, the Liz Truss budget was nothing compared to this, frankly. And the way she got savaged, I mean, she was frankly going for growth, trying to go for growth. This last budget, the one thing in the world it won't do is growth. And the one thing we're all desperately crying out for is growth. There was somebody on the telly the other day from the hospitality industry talking about the number of pubs that are closing and the number of jobs that are being lost in hospitality because of her flaming taxes. More tax, more tax, more tax. There's only, you know, you can only squeeze the pip so far. And then they will stop squeaking and they'll dry up. And that's what I think is already happening, frankly. Oh, I hate them. I so do. And also, see, I blame the last government, the Tories, because if they hadn't been so freaking useless, we wouldn't have this lot now. But that wasn't your question. Sorry.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.